Have you ever looked at someone and thought, this is it, this person was made for me? The universe brought us together. Then, moments later, reality hit. It wasn't the universe. It was just your brain working overtime with hormones and illusions. Yeah, picking a crush isn't about destiny. It's about chemistry and maybe a touch of chaos. Your brain decides who you're attracted to before you even notice. It's like a bossy CEO, making decisions without your input. It pulls from your past, stirs in biology, sprinkles social expectations, and voila, your next crush. Sometimes your brain picks someone perfect. Other times, it chooses someone your friends question. You shrug, saying, I don't know. There's just something about them. If you've ever wondered why some people spark obsession while others don't, stick with me. Together, we'll explore how your brain chooses crushes. It's messy, fascinating, and totally human. So buckle up. By the end, you'll understand why your crushes feel magical, but are actually rooted in science. It's a journey into your brain's quirks, and maybe your heart's too. The chemistry of a crush. The crush. That magical person who makes your hands sweaty, your heart race, and your brain feel like it's glitching. It seems like magic, but the truth is, it's all chemistry. Your brain acts like a scientist, mixing key ingredients to create that overwhelming sensation. First, we have dopamine, the feel-good hormone. The moment you see your crush, your brain releases a surge of it. Dopamine gives you that euphoric, almost addictive feeling, making you replay interactions in your head. It's also why you keep checking their social media or smiling at their texts like a fool. Next is oxytocin, known as the bonding hormone. This chemical kicks in when there's physical touch, a hug, a brush of hands, or even sitting close together. Oxytocin whispers to your brain, this feels good, let's keep them around. It's nature's way of encouraging connection and trust. Then adrenaline steps in, causing clammy hands, a racing heart, and awkward speech. Adrenaline heightens your senses, making every moment feel intense and high stakes. Even a casual high from your crush can leave you flustered, which is why your body reacts like it's on a thrill ride. Finally, there are pheromones, chemical signals your brain picks up without you realizing it. Pheromones help determine if someone is genetically compatible. You might not consciously notice, but these cues can make certain people seem irresistibly right. Attraction isn't random, it's biochemistry. Your brain, like a mad scientist, mixes these elements, leaving you feeling irrational, thrilled, and utterly human. Let's face it, we may think we're in control, but when it comes to crushes, your brain is running the show. Another factor that influences your attractions is your life itself. Chemistry might spark attraction, but your life experiences shape your preferences. Your brain keeps an emotional database, an invisible archive of every experience, relationship, and even past crush you've had. This database works in the background, influencing who you're drawn to, often without you realizing it. Think about it. Some people always go for the same type. Maybe it's a friend who's into funny people, or someone who falls for musicians. That's not random. Your brain connects specific traits to positive experiences from your past. For example, maybe someone who made you feel safe also had a great sense of humor, so now you associate humor with comfort. It goes deeper too. Many of us are unconsciously drawn to traits that remind us of childhood caregivers. This doesn't mean you're trying to date someone like your parents. It's about familiarity. Someone's tone of voice, their kindness, or the way they show affection can trigger feelings of security. However, your brain doesn't always get it right. If you're stuck in a cycle of falling for people who treat you poorly or are emotionally unavailable, it's likely because your brain confuses familiar with good. Even negative patterns can feel comforting because they're predictable. And then, your brain likes to throw curveballs. Sometimes you're drawn to someone completely outside your type, leaving you wondering, why do I even like this person? Your life story shapes your instincts, but understanding these patterns is the first step to breaking free from unhealthy cycles. Once you identify what drives your attraction, you can make more intentional choices about who gets your attention and your heart. Now, let's talk about evolution's role in your crushes. Besides chemistry and personal history, evolution plays a significant role in who you find attractive. Deep within our brains, primal instincts still guide our choices, even when we think we're acting on free will. Imagine you're in prehistoric times, or at least your brain thinks you are. You spot someone with strong, symmetrical features, like a defined jawline, broad shoulders, or bright eyes. Your brain immediately says, this person looks healthy and capable, a perfect mate. Traits like symmetry and physical strength often signal good genes, making them universally attractive. But it's not just about looks. Evolution also pushes us to prioritize qualities that suggest survival and stability. Emotional reliability, financial security, or even confidence can light up the part of your brain that wants a partner who can protect and provide. These traits act as subconscious indicators of long-term success. Interestingly, evolution influences preferences differently across genders. Research shows that women, particularly during fertile phases, may be more drawn to traits associated with masculinity, like a deep voice or strong physique. Men, on the other hand, often prioritize signals of youth and fertility, like clear skin and bright eyes. Cultural differences can overlap with these instincts, but the basics remain consistent. At its core, your brain is still wired to prioritize traits that would ensure survival back when choosing the right partner could mean life or death for the species. The funny part, in modern times, we can fall for people who make no evolutionary sense but are perfect for our emotional and intellectual needs. While your caveman brain has its opinions, your modern self can still make the final call. How culture influences attraction. Culture plays a massive role in shaping what we find attractive. While evolution gives us the foundation, health, survival, and reproduction, culture adds its unique flavors, redefining beauty standards and what people value in a partner. For example, body types have vastly different meanings across cultures. In certain African communities, fuller figures are considered attractive, symbolizing wealth, health, and fertility. Meanwhile, Western cultures often idealize slim figures, associating them with fitness and self-discipline. In Brazil, curves, particularly the buttocks, are a focal point of attraction, tied to ideals of vitality and sensuality. On the other hand, the United States historically emphasizes larger breasts as a marker of femininity and desirability. These preferences reveal how deeply societal values influence what people desire. Media also plays a significant role in shaping attraction. Movies, TV shows, and social media constantly bombard us with images of ideal partners, creating trends in who we find attractive. From the sharp-suited professionals of one decade to the tattooed bad boys of the next, pop culture dictates what's in. Social media intensifies this effect with filters and curated feeds, creating unattainable beauty standards. Even your social circle influences your preferences. If your friends are constantly talking about a particular type of person, you might unconsciously begin to notice and appreciate those traits. Attraction trends, like the rise of nerdy charm or the tall, dark, and mysterious trope, often come from these social and cultural reinforcements. Ultimately, culture acts as a lens through which we interpret attractiveness. It doesn't overwrite our primal instincts, but it does layer them with modern expectations. Understanding these influences can help us question whether our attractions are truly ours or shaped by external forces. Breaking the crush cycle. If you keep falling for the wrong type, it's not bad luck. It's your brain running on autopilot, repeating old patterns like a favorite song stuck on repeat. But the good news is, once you understand these patterns, you can break free and make better choices. Start by looking at your past crushes. Do they have traits in common? Maybe you're always drawn to people who are charming but distant, or those who seem exciting but unreliable. Identifying these patterns is the first step in recognizing what's working and what's not. Next, ask yourself what you really value in a relationship. Is it kindness, stability, shared goals? Often the traits we prioritize in a crush don't align with what we need for long-term happiness. By focusing on qualities that truly matter, you can steer your attractions in a healthier direction. Finally, take a moment to reflect on your emotional triggers. Are you drawn to people who remind you of past experiences, even if they weren't positive? Familiarity can feel safe, but it isn't always what's best for you. Breaking the crush cycle takes self-awareness and effort, but it's worth it. You don't have to settle for the same mistakes. Your next choice can be intentional and fulfilling. The truth about crushes. So what have we learned? Your crushes aren't as random as they seem. They're a mix of biology, personal history, evolution, and cultural influences, all working together to shape who you find attractive. The fluttering heart, the sweaty palms. It's not magic, it's your brain doing its thing. But here's the kicker. Your brain doesn't always make the best choices. Sometimes it pulls from outdated patterns, focuses on fleeting chemistry, or falls for societal pressures. That's why you might find yourself obsessing obsessing over someone who's not right for you, ignoring red flags, or chasing a connection that isn't real. The good news is, you're not powerless. Understanding how your brain works gives you the tools to take control. You can question your attractions, break free from unhealthy patterns, and focus on what truly matters: connection, respect, and shared values. Attraction may feel out of your hands, but love is a choice. When you combine awareness with intention, you can create something far deeper than a crush, something real and lasting. Now it's your turn. What patterns have you noticed in your crushes? Share your thoughts and let's keep this conversation going. After all, the best relationships start with understanding ourselves.